Alrighty, we are getting ready to leave the Goodwill right now, and I thought I would go ahead and set the camera up on the dash so I could give you an update, a talking head episode here. It is, let's see here, this is Thursday, February the 1st, 2017. I am en route back to Orlando to pick up some more inventory. I've been moved from the Orlando Orange Blossom Trail Sam's Club to another one down in the Vero Beach store, and basically have to move all the knives, the inventory, from one store to another. And that's a lot of knives, so I'm having to make multiple trips between Orlando and Vero Beach. This is my off day, and I don't get paid for this other than mileage to move the stuff. So it kind of sucks, but it's part of the job, one of the crappy parts of the job. Speaking of which, if you've been following me on Facebook, those of you who are on my friends list, then you know the current situation with my boss, Larry Williams, is missing. If you've been following the series, I don't even know what videos I uploaded because I'm way behind on uploads on videos because work has been keeping me really busy, and on my days off I've been seeing my children. So, I haven't really had much time to process and upload videos. My hair is a mess here. But, my boss, Larry Williams, the guy that I talked about when I first took the job, and he took me into Planet Fitness on his account so I could take a shower and get ready. He did that, several times so I could be nice and clean for work and stuff. Ended up being sent to Doral, Florida, which is in Miami area. That's where I was supposed to be going after Sunrise, Florida, where I was it's in like Fort Lauderdale area on the outer skirts of Miami. They were supposed to send me to Doral next, and then I got diverted to Orlando. That's how I ended up in the Orange Blossom Trail Sam's Club, and I was there for 3 weeks. But anyhow, my boss, Larry, ended up being sent to the Doral store, and then last Friday or so, he Thursday or Friday, he suddenly disappeared, just like that. They found the booth, where he was working with his suitcase, his attaché case, his little attaché case that he takes to work with his stuff in it. I don't know what all was in there, but that's what he normally carries when he goes to work. So it looked like he had gone into work that day, and his hotel room had all his stuff in it. But as far as Larry himself, he was missing. I kind of thought something was up when, the previous night, I think it was a Thursday night, I texted him my inventory count and, how many sales I got and whatnot, and he didn't reply. Normally Larry replies to me right away, and when he didn't respond, I was like, well, maybe he's just busy. But then the next morning, the Florida manager contacted me and asked me to send him the numbers. And at that point, I knew something was up with Larry, because Larry normally takes my numbers and he inputs it into the computer, and they all get it. So I asked what was going on, and then my boss told me that Larry's missing. And it's been a mystery since. They've gone down to, like I said, his hotel room. His family was notified. They went to his hotel room and they found his things. And as far as at the store where he was working, the booth was set up and his stuff was there. But Larry's not. I don't know the status of where he is or his car. I don't even know if anyone checked on his car to see where it was. So I'm really worried and concerned for him. He just up and disappeared, and to me, it seems so out of character for him. but I'm hearing through the grapevine that he's disappeared like this before. So as crazy as it seems, I'm praying that, you know, he just had a breakdown or something and just took off. That nothing bad. I mean, like he didn't get attacked or crash in a ditch somewhere. Because it's just so unlike him to disappear. But that's an ongoing mystery, and I'll keep you posted as I know more. But it's made this job a bit depressing because, you know, Larry was one of the highlights. I really liked working with Larry. He was a really good boss and was a cool guy and just fun, you know, and funny. We had some laughs together and stuff. So if you're watching this, please say prayers for Larry and his family. I pray that nothing bad has really happened to him and that he just took off. It seems messed up to pray that he just had a breakdown and took off. But if you knew what this job was like, you'd understand why that might occur. It is a tough job in the sense that you're working solely on commission. So you could stand there and work all day or all week and make nothing. So you could be working like 60 hours and you get paid nothing because you didn't make any sales. And like even today, I'm supposed to be off. It's my only day off. And I'm spending it back and forth running between Orlando and Vero Beach, picking up knives. And then tonight at 9 o'clock, I got to go set up the knives at the booths and stuff. So you don't really get much time, you know, with this job. Now, they have been working with me to try to give me every other weekend off so I can at least see my children, which is the only reason I'm staying at this point. The job is earning enough to make child support payments. So I've been able to keep making child support payments. And they've been working with me to have every other weekend off so I can see my children. And that's what's keeping me here. So as far as earnings, that's kind of iffy. A lot of it depends on the store you're being sent to. As far as the script and the job itself, I've pretty much memorized the script and am fairly comfortable with doing the sales presentation, the demonstration, because we demonstrate the knives and stuff, and we try to get sales. And I think I do okay. Other than, you know, when we have language issues, because they were sending me to like South Florida and even Orlando. A lot of the people, the customers, they actually don't speak much English. You know, in South Florida, it was like Creole. I guess they were Haitians and Hispanic, and some of them didn't speak any English, and there was some Russian and stuff there too, I think. You know, I don't know if it's Russia, but it's the Mid-East bloc nations. Then in Orlando itself, I've had at the Orange Blossom Trail sessions where they didn't speak English at all either, and that's kind of hard because you're standing there trying to do a show to tell them all this stuff, and all they hear is blah 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 blah. They don't have a clue what you're saying, so it's hard to make any sales. And I don't know if that's what happened with Larry. I thought he was doing pretty well with the sales-wise, but the Doral store supposedly is really bad for having people who they either don't understand English at all, or they just like they grab the knives like they're buying them, but then they don't buy them, so they all come back. So you think that you sold 10 or 15 sets of knives, and the next day you come in and there's 10 or 15 sets of knives sitting there, which meant you worked the whole day and got paid nothing. And, you know, if you did that for 2 or 3 weeks, which is how long Larry was down there, I could see how he could lose it. It's very frustrating because you're essentially doing all this stuff every day and you're not getting paid a penny. You know, and some of the customers can be pretty rude. As far as how I'm doing on my job, I make the best of it. I try to have fun with the customers. I play little games with them. I have them sing for me, you know. So even if I don't make the sales, I pray that, you know, they'll keep me long enough that I can make the draw and then pay the draw off. So the draw is like $350 a week, which isn't much, but that's enough for me to make child support payments, you know, and pay for repairs of the vehicle a little bit. I'm just so negative because if you'll recall, I started the whole trip being negative. I mean, it was only $4 when I left, $4 in my pocket when I started the journey. So we're now at nearly 7 months. We're pretty much at 7 months right now on the road in the van, living in the van. So that's where we're at right now. You can see the van is running pretty smoothly. The check engine light is still coming on and blinking, so it's still having some misfires. I've been adding the Lucas injector cleaner as well as cheap Walmart injector cleaner, alternating them whenever I get fueled up, you know, just adding it to try to make it run smoother. And right now it is running like about, I'd say about 90% smoothness. So I'm trusting the vehicle again, and I am trusting that the injector cleaners will fix the problem. I think that the mechanics at the U-Fix-It shop, Oscar, I think is his name, did a fantastic job. And, you know, I would highly recommend people traveling through the area, if you need like workspace to work on your vehicle, you can rent out one of those work booths. They even have the hydraulic lifts, so if you're a mechanic and you need access to stuff like that, and they have tools. They have air tools, they have hand tools, so you can rent one of those bays and use their tools as well as the jacks, the lifts and stuff. Now me, I'm not mechanically inclined, so I went ahead and just paid Oscar to do the work. He's a certified mechanic, so you know, he did the work and he tried to keep costs down. And you know, when he heard I was on a YouTuber, he gave me a discount. So if you have a YouTube channel, it might not hurt to let him know that you got referred by Denoy from Living in a Van, the Living in a Van channel, and let them know that you have a YouTube channel. And you know, they'll take a look at it to make sure you really do have a channel, but maybe he'll give you a discount too. So the discount helped a lot. You know, I mean, it wasn't like a lot, but he gave me a 10% discount on the price, which is already fairly a fair price. So, highly recommended. That's pretty much it. You know, other than I'm going to try to upload this video as soon as I can, just so people are aware that I'm still alive and well. I've just been extremely busy with work. I pretty much sometimes work like 12 to 15 days straight without a day off. And you know, it gets a little bit depressing because if you'll recall, when we first started this channel, I was always on the beach watching sunrises, taking pictures of the sunrise. I was exploring and doing all that. Since I've taken this job, I've essentially not been able to take any time off. I've been working every day. And on the days that they have me scheduled off, I spend it moving inventory from one store to another and then setting up the booth at night, you know, before the show starts. And then now when I do get the 2 days off on the weekends, which to me is really important and the best part of this job, is they've been working with me on that. It allows me to see my children, even if I have to drive 600 miles. I'll do that. As far as staying on this job, that's still up in the air. I'm going to keep doing it until I've had enough or until they fire me, one or the other. And that's pretty much it. I guess that's this Talking Head episode. I may do another one. I think I'll go ahead and do another episode after this, just to talk about van life and things that have been learned and some tips for those of you who are getting ready to get started. So until next time, everybody, I wish you all a good day. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you those of you who have been praying for me, and for those of you who have helped me to make it this far, because, you know, I'd say I'm a bit better off now than I was when I first started, considering I'm working again. and I'm making child support again. The van is getting some repairs done. It's had new tires put on, 2 new tires. I've had a tune-up done on it. My next step is I may take it into Oscar there at the mechanic's shop and see if they can remove the hitch. You know, I have a hitch here on the back of the vehicle that I don't use, and all it's doing is just basically weighing the vehicle down and making it so that I can't put the donut, the spare tire, underneath the van. So if I remove the hitch, I may be able to get the donut area thing fixed so that I can put the tire back under there again and not have to carry it on my rooftop, which is my next thing that I'll fix with the vehicle. So until next time, everybody, have a fantastic day. Thank you again for tuning in.